going on, y'all? It's your boy Roliver Queen. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys are doing good. I am back. We will have some guests momentarily, but while we wait for them, yeah, I just want to say apologies. Last week we were supposed to have a stream, but I was a dumbass and I went ahead and cracked my laptop screen. So I had to go and get it sent in for repairs. So that's why we didn't do the Comics Code Authority stream. But we will be back this weekend, hopefully. Hopefully you guys missed us because I definitely missed you. But yeah, while we wait for our guest, I guess I can start. I guess I can spitball a little bit. Whoever's in the chat, please make yourself known. Go ahead, state your name. Oh, brother, I know who's in this chat. It is Kenny. Suck my toes if you want to apologize. Oh, my Lord, have mercy. You horny bastard. We can save that for after the stream. But yeah, we're here to talk about, Dark Crisis and Lazarus Planet. So Lazarus Planet wrapped up last week, unofficially, but officially it wrapped up with Batman versus Robin issue 5, which came out this week. So yeah, man, just to give some background, we spent most of the summer and the rest of last year with Dark Crisis, which was like the big DC event. We saw that kick off with Infinite Frontier, then Justice League Incarnate, and then Justice League 75, and then we get Dark Crisis. So this was pretty much DC kind of washing their hands officially of the 5G stuff. So they were really focusing on legacy here. They really made an emphasis to focus more on Nightwing. We got to see Deathstroke juiced up, which was odd, definitely a choice. And like initial thoughts is Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths. It was a miss for me. It was a miss. This was easily one of Williamson's weakest works. And I think even before then, I was kind of soft on his stuff also. Shadow War, I think I've mentioned it a couple of times, it wasn't the best. And then Dark Crisis was just, it was so mid. So I really think we could have done without. And I think the premise of Dark Crisis kind of just handicapped itself. We've seen the Justice League die before. We know death doesn't mean anything in the DC universe or in comic books because of how many times they abuse it. But yeah, I mean, overall, I can say, it was drawn well, and there were some cool moments. We got to see John, really come into his own. This was probably the best John was written in a very long time. This was probably the best Nightwing has been written in a very long time. It was good to see some faces in the DC that we haven't seen in a while, such as, Lex Luthor, the Legion of Doom. Good to see those guys are still active and, cooking in the background. But again, as for just impact, it was a big miss for me. Super big miss. I think one of the only things that I'm looking forward to coming out of Dark Crisis is the Green Arrow stuff. And the stuff that's happening with Amanda Waller, because she has her own little Suicide Squad that's gonna be popping off. So it's good to see we're continuing from the last Suicide Squad book, and I can't wait to see what happens with Green Arrow. I really fucking hope that after this we see Green Arrow become more prominent in the DCU because he's kind of been floundering. But other than that, yeah, Dark Crisis kind of just came and went. It wasn't great. Like I'm rereading it now. You know, maybe it'll hit better, in one sitting. But I don't know, who knows? But yeah, this really didn't do it for me. Like honestly, I thought the tie-ins were pretty hit or miss. The tie-ins were pretty hit or miss. I think the only good ones were the Flash. And I know what I'm about to say is super controversial, but I Am Batman. That one was a good tie-in as well. I think other than that, what else? Was there any other good highlights? Oh, you know what? I take that back. Dark Crisis, The Dark Army. That was very well written. I still believe that should have been like a 2 to 4 issue mini. because I enjoy ragtag DC teams. They're the best whenever a crisis happens, and yeah, I feel like they dropped the ball by just giving us one issue. I feel like there was a lot of good chemistry between Damian, Sideways, Red Canary, Power Girl. I think there was some other chick on there, but yeah, that was pretty good, and we could have done with 3 issues, 3 or 4 issues of that. But again, just dropped the ball completely. Um, I thought yeah, I thought all the other times were again hit or miss. The Young Justice stuff was awful, awful, awful. I couldn't even finish it. Yeah, Megan Fitzmartin, she did not do herself any favors, especially since she was slated to write the Tim Drake book soon after. So, what a way to get people disinterested in your writing. But I got a couple comments here, so let me answer them. JK, thank you for popping in. He said, definitely looking forward to Green Arrow. Yes, you've mentioned before several times on the channel. Green Arrow fans are struggling right now. We've been struggling for a long time. We've been struggling since the show ended. I know people don't like the TV show, but I think once the TV show had ended, I think DC saw that there was no need really to put Green Arrow in prominence anymore. Because right when we got that right when we got the announcement that Arrow was ending, DC said, "All right, cool, we pulling the plug on his ongoing." And since then, he's just kind of been floundering around. But yeah, looking forward to the miniseries that's coming out. And I should say this also. Green Arrow fans, uh, we already know what the situation is with this character. Since his ongoing has ended, he's just been in limbo. He's just been in this book or that book, and he really hasn't been taken seriously by damn near any writer except Williamson. And if you did listen to his word balloon interview, he said it was a struggle to get this miniseries approved, and if we want the series to continue after 6 issues, we're gonna have to show up. So go to your comic book shop, let them know, hey, I want this Green Arrow book. Make sure I'm subscribed to it, because that matters. And I believe if they see enough sales, especially with that first issue, we can hopefully see the same thing happen as Poison Ivy and what's that other joint called? Swamp Thing, where they got extended because the sales were doing well. So this is our chance to show DC, hey, let's really put our money where our mouths are. Williamson is the best choice at the moment for Green Arrow. Like JK said, he loves Green Arrow. And I think if approved, Williamson can also write a pretty lengthy Green Arrow series, because he's been teasing Green Arrow for God knows how long. So it'll be good to see him sticking around in a more serious way. And also, I'll add this into, I need Green Arrow back in the streets. Green Arrow has not been in the streets for a long time now. I miss him back in Seattle. I miss him doing his social justice thing. Like, this is the Green Arrow I remember, the Green Arrow that I know, and we need to return to that. So I'm cool if the 6 issues is us, finding Ollie, but after that 6 issues, let's get back to Seattle, man. Let's have the Arrow family back together, and let's just do Green Arrow shit. Like, this Green Arrow in the DCU, we've tried it, it ain't working. Put my boy back in Seattle. All right, proper Green Arrow. Let's make it happen. Um, let's see here. JK also said both Dark Crisis and Lazarus are just so unmoored in time. Yeah, it's very true. It's very true. And now I'll answer that while I move on to Lazarus Planet. Let's move on to Lazarus Planet. Lazarus Planet, I feel, is the better one. Is the better of the two events. Why? Because I think the setup was pretty solid. Batman versus Robin, from start to finish, has been awesome. I know maybe people were iffy on Mark Waid. I wasn't, because I really didn't know much of Mark Waid's work before this. So this was me jumping in, and I thought it was a good father-son story. More on like the dark side, more like the magic side. So that was cool to see both of them bouncing off of each other. I like the way they handled the Alfred stuff. I like how they incorporated the Bat family. And I like how it was a direct continuation from Williamson's Robin. Like it flowed very well. And overall, it was a pretty small, condensed story. And, we got Lazarus Planet out of that. And, you know, if I can grade Lazarus Planet overall, I think I don't know, I'd give it like a 7 out of 10. It wasn't bad. And I think it got the point across better than what Dark Crisis was. Like the whole purpose of Lazarus Planet was to, establish these new heroes. And as we know, we're getting a couple new books spinning out of Lazarus Planet. So I think that message landed pretty well. I think there's a lot of people excited for these new heroes. I think people are excited for how the Lazarus resin has affected, our regular characters in the DCU, and overall, I think it did the job. I think it did the job. Like I'll say this also, the some of the times were hit or miss. Well, excuse me, I don't want to call them times. Some of the one shots were hit or miss. Let me just take a sip real quick. Some of them were hit or miss. I'll say that, but um, you know, I think most of the writers utilized the small page count pretty well to get these heroes established, and I think it's also smart that um, what is it? I also think it's smart that the books spinning out of it, they're mini series versus ongoings, so that gives you know writers enough time to one write a short condensed story and hopefully convince people to stick around for these characters. And same thing as I said before, if there's support, maybe these books can get extended to ongoings. And so I'm excited for a good batch of these books, like the title that Ram V is on. I'm excited for that. The Spirit World book. After rereading a couple of after rereading that Lazarus Planet one shot, yeah, I'm excited for that. Um, the Circuit Breaker one was pretty solid too. I always pick up the DC Pride stuff, so I can't wait to see how that story continues there. But yeah, I'm excited. I think it's a good way to get new characters into DC, and it's a nice test run. And if people don't rock with it, then we'll see these characters kind of flounder away. But you know, you can't say that DC isn't trying. You can't say they aren't trying. So I think the creative teams are pretty solid. I think the art for most of these are going to slap, and we'll see if I'm anticipating at least maybe one or two of these characters will stick around. I have more hopes for what is it, the Vigil? I think that's what it's called. Ram V's book is called. I have more hopes for them, mainly because I think Ram V is the bigger rider of the bunch that's coming out of the We Are Legends stuff. So I think Ram V's the stronger rider. I think people are more willing to give that a chance, and I think the premise is cool. So yeah, let's see what happens here with Lazarus Planet, man. I mean, well, with the stuff that's spitting out of Lazarus Planet. And I think Lazarus Planet will hold up. I think Lazarus Planet will hold up better than Dark Crisis does. And again, I'm currently doing a review of Dark Crisis. I'm trying to go into it with an open mind, and maybe my opinions will change. But I don't know, man. Just because of the things that constructed Dark Crisis, especially the Death of Justice League, if this was a regular person picking this up, I think Dark Crisis would hit. But for longtime comic book fans who's been sticking around for DC for a while, this one won't hold up. But let me answer some of these real quick. JK says, I don't think any of these stories are gonna fly. Um, we'll see. We'll have to wait and see. Um, you know, it really depends on the creative teams and we know what they bring to the table. Um, so like I said, I'm more hopeful for Ram V's and Alyssa Wong's, because I think their characters have a stronger premise to them. But we'll wait and see. But like I said, I think maybe one or two of them will stick. One or two of them will stick. Um, Red Kyla said Dark Crisis Lazarus was basically a glorified preview book. Agreed. 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 Um, but I also say this: Lazarus Planet is it's interesting, right? Because and I kind of like the way it was done within Batman and Superman, because you know you can read Batman versus Superman issues 1 through 5, and you don't have to read Lazarus Planet. I think Lazarus Planet works as an extension to that story, but you don't have to. Like I read issue 5. Issue 5 literally sums up Lazarus Planet, and then it just moves on and continues the Batman versus Robin story, and it barely touches the Lazarus Planet stuff. So that works in that regard. But yeah, I think also Lazarus Planet. Yeah, you can't say it's a glorified preview book, because realistically speaking, you can just read Lazarus Planet Alpha and Omega. If you want to check out the stuff in between, you can, but you don't really have to. Like that's the beauty of it. Like you're not beholden. You're not beholden to reading everything in between. Both books, it could just be open and close. And and I also like the fact that, hey, Lazarus Planet is much shorter than Dark Crisis. Dark Crisis, after a while, people forgot it was coming out. Lazarus Planet is boom, boom, 2 months in, out. You want to read the main story? You can read the main story. That's 2 issues. You want to read everything else? You can read everything else, and either way is fine. So yeah, I think Lazarus Planet will hit a little harder, but I don't know. If you think Dark Crisis will hit, I don't blame you, because again, the art for Dark Crisis is fucking slapping. Like it's beautiful, fucking beautiful. Daniel Sampier, I think this is when he made his mark. Honestly, Soft Boy said, "I'm hyped for that Spirit World book." Yeah, yeah. I was a little iffy at first, but when I sat down, I wasn't occupied with anything else, and I read that story. Like it from start to finish, I was engaged. Start to finish, I was like, "Oh, this is cool." The colors was popping. Story's pretty engaging, pretty simple. I like the way that they drew in Cassandra Cain. I like the way that they drew in Constantine. And I think I mentioned it also in the last sales stream that I did. Yeah, man. Hey, if you somebody that's reading Batgirls is not lasting any longer, because there's no way you're gonna have a Cassandra Cain in Spirit World and then Cassandra Cain in Gotham. And already Batgirls ain't doing so hot. So if you're a Cassandra Cain fan, you eating, but you also suffering at the same time. But yeah, the Spirit World book, definitely more excited. I think they're trying with that one since they put Cass and Constantine on it. Yeah, that's true too. And that's to its benefit. Constantine is somebody that works within the spirit realm, the magic realm. And and I also said this too. I like that Cassandra Cain, at least for these next couple months. She gonna be with she gonna be with another Asian character. I think that's important. I think Cassandra Cain has, I think she spent enough time in Gotham, with the Batgirls, with the Bat family. I know there was some stuff that was teased with, maybe Shiva or whatnot. I don't know if that ever came into fruition. But it's nice to see, heroes of, like the same nationality and stuff, hang out and do fun shenanigans with each other. I think that would be nice. And maybe Alyssa Wong will probably be a better fit for a Cassandra Cain book than Becky Cloonan and Conrad. So who knows? So I like the progression for her. Let's see here. Oh yeah. Softboy said also Roliver. I met Walter Emmanuel Jones at Comic Con Saturday. Oh, for real? How'd that go? Um, yeah, I ran into him also at PMC. Super chill dude, super cool dude. Very nice, very humble. Yeah, a lot of those PR actors, man, they're pretty good folk. So yeah, happy you got to meet them. Hopefully you met a couple of some other folk. And JK said Batman versus Superman or Batman versus Robin. Yeah, Batman versus Robin. Yeah, yeah, that's another thing I want to mention also. Like, I think they took their time setting up Lazarus Planet, because Lazarus Planet is the culmination of 3 books essentially. Yeah, so it started off with Robin, and then on the side it was Batman and Superman, and then we had Batman versus Robin, and then we get Lazarus Planet. So I think the build up for Lazarus Planet and the work that it did to kind of make things flow together was handled better than Dark Crisis, because Dark Crisis was mo- the Justice League is the center of Dark Crisis, but they really weren't part of the build up. They kind of just got thrown into their last minute. Well, I don't want to say last minute, but towards the end. And I think people already just didn't care about the Justice League anyways at this point. So yeah, it just didn't work. But for the other heroes involved, I think that worked well. The Justice League Incarnate team, like, they were very prominent. Sad that we didn't really get to see much of them in Dark Crisis. Thomas Wayne got shifted off to the Flashpoint world and all that. But yeah, I think the buildup was much better. I think the buildup for Lazarus Planet was much better than Dark Crisis. I think again, when you go back and if you want to do a full reread, I think the reader experience will be better for Dark Crisis than Lazarus Planet for sure. I haven't heard Batgirls was canceled. Dot was still solicits. Other characters have been prominently in 2 locations at the same time. It's not canceled, but it's not selling well either. It's gotten better over recent months. Like, I see it slowly climbing in the sales charts, but overall it's dipped quite a bit, from when it started. Like, I don't know. I don't know really, if this was ever planned to just be a mini, and then they extended it, and maybe that wasn't planned well enough. But yeah, I think the readership is tapping out. But for the past couple months, I think they're doing Becky and Michael are doing something, and they're catching some people back. But I don't know, it may be too late. It may be too late. And also, we're seeing a lot of like the legacy hero stuff get canceled. Batman, Yara Floor, um, Son of Kal-El, ended. So we'll see once we hit that 18 issue mark, I guess. See here. JK said, I found the build up inconsistent, particularly as far as character motivation. So give me 1 second. Let me sip my drink and I'll answer this. Yeah, what do you mean by that? I don't know. I thought it was pretty consistent, for the most part, but um, I can also understand where you might see it's inconsistent, as well, because again, it's like the culmination of you know how many different writers were involved here. I think it was just Williamson. I think, yeah, Williamson and Wade at first, and yeah, I'll have to do a reread, but maybe I can see that as well, because yeah, you had Robin doing his own thing, then Robin ended kind of prematurely, and then he got shafted off. So I see it as, maybe this was planned, or it could be the other case of maybe it wasn't properly planned as well. And, Williamson kind of just needed the character to go somewhere, and boom, here, Robin figure it out Wade, and, here we go. So yeah, we'll see. I plan on doing a proper like reread of both as well. So yeah, we'll see. Let's see here. He also said, for instance, Dick had been trapped in Kanto Maltese, but didn't mention to Damien that, hey, that island you're on, there is a demon trap there. Oh, okay, all right, and I think you're still writing. But yeah, I'll get to your other question. Give me a second. I just want to make sure everything is all set with my other people. But yeah. So yeah, curious to see, what you think. But yeah, as for like lasting effects, on the DCU, you know, yeah, I think Lazarus Planet will I think Lazarus Planet will stick around better in terms of continuity. Like, I'm actually curious to see what's gonna happen with, John Kent, because the blue power stuff was teased in one of the one shots, but we're gonna see it manifest itself in whatever Taylor's doing in that Adventures of John Kent book. We have Lazarus Planet is still not over technically. We have the stuff that's happening with the Amazons and the gods. That's going to be written by G. Willow and Clunin and Conrad. So it's not over. So I think that'll linger around better than Lazarus Planet. And again, Dark Crisis is not much. I mean, outside of what Titans, I'm pretty sure we could have gotten a Titans book regardless if the Justice League was gone or not, because the Titans have needed a desperate revamp. But other than that, yeah, I don't think there's too much you can pull from Dark Crisis to make it stick in the DCU as well as Lazarus Planet. Let's see here. JK said, let me see here. Batman and Robin have reconciled without Bruce ever telling the Bat fam that Bruce sent Damian to Gotham. Without ever telling Batman. What do you mean? Are we talking? We talking Shadow War? Refresh my memory. Plus, Dick and the others were more concerned with Yucky Pizza, than their brother having died multiple times. Yes, true. Yeah. The Bat Fam one. Oh, when Alfred was killed. Yes, that's right. Wait a minute. Bruce sent Damian. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Bruce didn't. I feel like I'm gonna get a little confused. Did Bruce? I don't think Bruce didn't send Damian to Gotham when Alfred got killed. I don't think Bruce sent Damian to Gotham. I think wasn't the deal if anybody comes into Gotham, Alfred is gonna die, and then that's when Damian went to Gotham, and then he brain killed Alfred. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting things a little mixed up here, but yeah, Let me know. Yes, Bruce sent Damian to Gotham. Oh, maybe I read that wrong. I thought that was because are you sure? Because I thought the understanding was nobody goes to Gotham, and then I think that's why. Oh, okay. Maybe I had missed that part. Yeah, because I had read City. Oh, okay. Because remember, I read City of Bane, and then I read what is it? The Death of Alfred one shot, and it really felt like the vibe I got from that was, Damian went in half cocked. Okay. And then after that, so I'll explain it again. I thought the rule was nobody goes to Gotham. If anybody goes to Gotham, Alfred gets his neck snapped. And then Damian goes in half cocked, Alfred dies, and then from then on, it seemed like Damian was not told to go to Gotham, and he carried that guilt. And then there were several comments made by Batman saying like, "Hey, if I was there, he wouldn't have died." And then I think that's what kicked off Damian going off to the Lazarus Island and stuff. Okay, maybe I had mixed I missed some things in my rewatch. Okay, it was the Plain Alfred. Okay, all right. But yeah, okay, thank you for correcting me, JK. I appreciate that. I'm not afraid, not afraid to admit, if I was wrong, not afraid. No, so thank you. So yeah, also too, I wanted to say this. Dark Crisis and Lazarus Planet was, I know there's this thing about them bouncing back and forth, like meaning one coming after the other. On one hand, I understand the complaint there, but at the same time, I think it could have been handled a little bit better. But the upside is that Dark Crisis had ended and then we still had a little bit of time in between Dark Crisis ending and the Dawn of DC beginning. So I think that gave Lazarus Planet enough time to, do what it needed to do. So by the time Lazarus Planet was over, Dawn of DC is here, and then we can all kind of usher in that era together. So yeah, maybe, part of me also thinks maybe we could have just done without Dark Crisis. We could have done without Dark Crisis. We could have just wanted. We could have just got Lazarus Planet, and all is said and done. All is said and done. But yeah, I think it could have been handled better. But at the same time, I think you know if you kind of let go of the fact that they went back and they kind of one went after the other, I think it's fine. I think it's fine. I think timeline wise, they both did a solid job of just like ushering in the new DCU. But again, I totally understand the complaints. Tevye, what's going on? Tevye said, honestly, I think Lazarus Planet buildup was better. Yeah, agreed. Agreed. And I'll also agree to say maybe there's some bumps on the there's probably some bumps on the road as well. It wasn't perfect. But yeah, I think that the buildup was much better, much better. And Tevye said, but its tie-ins were a waste of time. Yeah. I also have a theory too. I have a theory also. I have a theory that Mark Waid had pitched a regular Batman versus Superman story, and then while he pitched that, somebody in the editorial said, "Hey, in the middle of this series, let's make an event out of it, and then let's use that to usher in, these new characters." Because again, like I said before, bro, you can read Batman versus Robin 1 to 5, and you do not have to touch Lazarus Planet. You don't have to. But I think that's what happened. It's just Mark Waid had an idea, and it was like somebody said, let's stretch this out as much as we can. Let's stretch this out as much as we can. And then, that's why Batman versus Robin's coming out, a month or two late. I'm pretty sure, if somebody in editorial didn't, make that pitch or make that suggestion, we would have been done with Batman versus Robin. But, it is what it is. And I think, Batman versus Robin is arguably the better story. But not even arguing. As much as I like Lazarus Planet, Batman versus Robin was better. Let's see. Hold on. Let me answer these. Hold on. Patty said, "Ayo, what's up with Harley pulling a Twitter in her show?" I don't know. I have not watched that Harley Quinn show. I should, but again, you guys should notice by now, I'm really bad at watching comic book TV shows. I'm horrible at it. For fuck's sake, I just finished Peacemaker. So by the time I get to the Harley Quinn show, it might be over. Or it might be a couple seasons in. But yeah, I haven't watched it. But I heard it's good. I think it's one of the very few DC properties that has been consistently praised. Let's see here. Softboy said, "I think Dawn of DC was more of an end to the mess of Infinite Frontier, and Lazarus Planet was an usher in for Dawn of DC." Yeah, I say both. I say both. And then I also say it's to end the mess of Infinite Frontier and end the mess of 5G. I think that's what it is. Notice right after Dark Crisis ended, a lot of these legacy books ended also. And again, I think these legacy characters they just kind of stuck around for as long as they did, because there were initial plans for them. But now that Dark Crisis is done, we can kind of get rid of them, kind of toss them off to the side. But yeah, I think both Lazarus Planet and Dark Crisis kind of ushered in that new wave. Because again, we have key things on Dark Crisis that's going into the Dawn of DC. Like I mentioned before, Amanda Waller, then the Suicide Squad. We know they're going to be appearing in a couple books. The Titans, and the quote unquote Justice League not sticking around. we know the motherfuckers are going to be back at some point at the end of 2023 or going into 2024. So there's key things there that help build the dawn of DC, but Lazarus Planet, I think, did most of I think it did most of the work as well. Let's see here. Um, JK said, I think Lazarus Planet was supposed to flow out of Teen Titans. Damian was supposed to be the big bad, but when real life things happened, that would explain why the ending of Batman versus Robin ending being so. Oh, huh. Yo, JK, you might be onto something. You might be onto something here because I might. I apologize, if I'm, kind of straying away a little bit, but I swear I'm going to bring it back because the 5G plans, if we are to believe Bleeding Cool, Damian was supposed to be the big bad in one of the big bads in 5G. He was supposed to take over Leviathan and the League of Shadows, and then he was also supposed to fight against Luke Fox Batman and John Kent Superman as well. So what if what if Batman versus Robin was just a retooled story from 5G? And then they decide to just make an event out of that. Think about that. That could be it. That could be it. That could be it. But I like what you're saying, though. I like what you're saying. It's a good idea. Like you saying, that just made the gears in my head turn. To be fair, I think Infinite Frontier was basically a make of 5G, which 5G itself was garbage. Tell me, don't worry. We gonna talk about this. Once I do the Bat Summit stream, we gonna get that 5G conversation going. But yeah, again, Infinite Frontier was, that's all it was. It was just cleaning up 5G's mess. All these things were planned and they had to use them. They had to use them. I think contracts were in place. And I think once those contracts or stuff ran out, or once the book stopped selling well, they just easily discarded them. So I think Yara FLOR will be around in some way, shape, or form. I believe they're teasing Jace Fox coming back. We know John Kent will be around in the Superman family books. I think there's rumblings of an Aquaman book, and if there is, maybe Jackson Hyde will be not shoehorned. He'll be in there, but yeah, that's all it was. It was just cleaning that up, and then Dark Crisis was the final close to that. Southboy said, "Yep, definitely don't see Jace Fox sticking around. He had no impact on the DCU, unlike Yara and John. Yara might be around in events and team ups. Yeah, true. And again, it's a shame. I think I know maybe you guys have seen that video, but yeah, I would have loved for Jace Fox to interact with Bruce Wayne at least once, in his book or in Dark Crisis. Like, I still find it fucking insane. I find it insane how Bruce and Jace were in the same battle and not even one fucking panel of them acknowledging each other. Not one. And even so, bro, none of the other Bat family members acknowledged the fact that Jace was there. Like, bro, there is somebody else running around with your father's suit, and nobody decided to give that the time of day. But hey, you know what? It's probably what happens when you're a remnant of an initiative that just shouldn't have happened. Oh, give me 1 second. Yeah. Let's see here. Software asks, "Are you hyped for Night Terrors?" Fuck no. Fuck no. Fuck no. Fuck no. Night Terrors, apologies if I'm deterring a little bit. Night Terrors looks like DC's answer to whatever Marvel is doing for the summer. Like, it looks like it's gonna hold no sort of weight, and it's just like a fun one and done event. I'm still gonna check it out, but I don't think it's gonna have much impact. It looks like it's going to be its own condensed thing. I don't think it's going to bleed into any of the main books. Like it has its own book. Then there's going to be like one shots, and then that's it. Like I I don't know. It just looks like it doesn't look interesting to me. But I'll still check it out anyways because maybe there's some way to tie into Dawn of DCU, and I'm just not opening my eyes to it yet. But I'm not excited. Like I rolled my eyes when I seen the teaser image and the description. It's not for me, but I'll read it anyways. I'll read it. Um, what else? What happened at the end of Teen Titans once again? Are we talking Teen Titans Academy or are we talking Teen Titans the regular one? We're talking Teen Titans. Damian, I think the trauma from Alfred finally got to Damian. I think he started spazzing out, and I think this is right around the time he had also like killed Deathstroke as well. I think Damian was just spinning out of control, and the Titans were in limbo for a little bit, and then that's when Dick had stepped in, to invite all those guys to come to Titans Academy. But yeah, Damian just decided he's done being Robin. I think Batman had come through as well. They beat the dog shit out of each other for like the 100th time, and they tried to reconcile, but they didn't. And then that was like the first building block of Damian going off to the Lazarus Island. See here, yeah, like Tevye said, like, holy shit, the original plan for 5G was supposed to have John Kent and Damian Wayne kill each other, written by Bendis, which Jesus Christ sounded horrible from the beginning. Wait, I thought I read different. Yeah, I thought it was John Kent and Luke Fox versus Damian, and I don't know, maybe I missed the point where it was written by Bendis and the part that they were gonna kill each other. But yeah, I again, I'll save that conversation for another stream. But I don't know. I feel like certain elements of 5G could have worked. Yeah, I think it could have worked. But them killing each other, no, yeah, no, absolutely not. Yeah, wasn't and Softboy said, yeah, wasn't 5G supposed to be evil Damien? So Superman went to go find Bruce's daughter Helen to help him. I don't know where. There's a whole thing on 5G. Is the bleeding cool the 5G files? Because I don't remember what Five Boy. I don't remember hearing anything about what Five Boy said. 5G was supposed to be, death metal happened, and then after death metal, Bruce Wayne and Clark Kent were aged up. That's why John Kent stepped in. That's why Luke Fox stepped in. And that's why we had all these legacy heroes, because a lot of the heroes that we knew, they had aged up. And then Damian is feeling a certain way. Again, he takes over Leviathan and the League of Shadows, and he's trying to, wreak havoc. Then John Kent and Luke Fox step in, and then they kind of go at it. But I don't remember Superman going to Helena to try to find help. Like Bruce and Superman stories are like, they end up completely different. Softboy said, JK said Softboy, Glass was basically told to make Damian bad last minute, despite how the story didn't flow. I didn't know that. I didn't know. Oh, I didn't know that. Huh. Okay. All right. And they scramble to fix things. Oh, I'm getting good little nuggets here. I'm getting good. Oh, I need to look up these interviews. Hold on. All right. Thank you, JK. Now I have some homework for later. Thank you. I did not know that. Tevye said, I'm still pissed and angry. They still won't de-age John Kent Superboy back to his little 10-year-old self, because we have a great backup story by Dan Jurgens in Action Comics, which is fantastic. Yeah, man. Now we've had this conversation before, but yeah, the backup is the most you're gonna get. It's the most you're gonna get. Like I said, maybe we get lucky, and you know, Taylor decides to, you know, dupe us into thinking, oh, you know what? Maybe the John Kent that's here is not the John Kent, and you know, they do some shenanigans with the Injustice story. So who knows? Who knows? Jake said I could see them reframe Jace Fox as his own identity. I don't think he's ever gonna take as Batman when he doesn't have a reason to be Batman. Yeah, I can see it too. The problem with that is, um, you know, I might go into a little bit of a rant here. It's like, you know, we have the Signal who has his own identity, but people pay him dust. And you know, I guess one of the only things that really worked for Jace Fox was that the fact that he was a Batman, so that made people pay attention to him a little more. And I still think that Jace Fox is fine as a Batman. It's just the writing wasn't great. That's the main problem. I think Jace Fox is fine as a Batman. That story started off so well. And I think if he had a different writer or we went in a different direction, you know, maybe we wouldn't have the certain conversations we have about Jace Fox. But I think he's fine as a Batman, but I think he's fine. It would be cool if he has his own identity also. But you know, it again, the writing just has to be good. That's all what it boils down to. Um, let's see here. Wow, you guys are going crazy in the comments. Jesus, hold on. Apologies, I'm trying to catch up to everybody here. Yeah, Sawboy said if Jace Fox gets his own identity, no one will care about him. Let's be for real. Yeah, it's true, right? Again, the fact that he was Batman, that was a leg up. And again, you already have a cheat code essentially. And all you had to do was just put somebody on that book that could have just built him up. But yeah, you know, again, we have the Signal. People don't barely care. They like to pretend that they care about the Signal, but they really don't. And I feel that might be the case for Jace Fox. I think the only way Jace Fox getting his own identity would work is if you put a big name writer on him. Like, it can't be a John Ridley, it can't be a Vita Ayala, it can't be a Brandon Thomas. It has to be somebody like Jeff Johns or a Williamson or maybe a Jeremy Adams, a Philip. Like, it has to be somebody hot, because at least then, just because people know who's writing that book, they'll give it a chance. But yeah, Jace Fox at this point, he might as well just stay Batman, and hopefully somebody can make something happen with him. But yeah, you try to try to do that, without him being Batman. I don't know. I don't know. Soft Boy said, laugh my ass off for real. It's so odd. They just ignored Jace. Stop the pariah. It's true. It's fucking true. Like, the only person that acknowledged Jace was fucking John, and then I think there was like that brief moment where he helped Mr. Terrific. But yeah, so nobody batted an eye. It's like, yo, who's this black dude with the Batman suit? Like, come on, bro. Like, come on. Like, nobody. Oh God, that just could have been handled so much better. And and I'm also gonna like throw a little bit of shade at Williamson, because he did snitch on himself on Word Balloon. He said Dark Crisis was supposed to be longer, but he only had 7 issues. So maybe with the extra issue or 2, we could have seen certain interactions happen. But even so, with 7 issues, you could have made some attempt to have Jace Fox interact with the Batfan. You could have done something, bro. You could have done something. Let's see here. Teen Titans Academy was garbage and had Rex Mystery go nowhere. The Red X Mystery, yeah. I don't know what they were doing with Teen Titans Academy. I have no idea. I have no idea what they were doing with that story. I think the premise was fine, but I think from Jump Street, you kind of knew you were going to run into some problems because there's no way you can write a story that highlights such a big cast. You had the regular Teen Titans, well, you had the regular Titans mixed with the Teen Titans. That's about like 12 or so characters. Then let's throw in the new characters in there as well. There was no way that story was ever going to last long. And yeah, I think that was a big misstep from the beginning. Like, I think the future state stuff could have worked. Like, if it was just future state, cool, because again, we were just tossing a bunch of shit at the wall for future state. But actual story, no. And the Red X stuff, I don't think that was properly planned. And I think readers kind of got tired of that mystery by like issue 5 or 6. It was like, all right, bro, let's wrap it up. And then once that dragged on for much longer, people just tuned out, and they just stopped giving a shit. Let me see. Soft Boy said, "I'm not gonna lie, that would be a fire Elseworld story." Oh, you're talking about the 5G stuff? I think so too. I think so too. Like, you know what? I wouldn't be mad. But again, I apologize if I piss anybody off. I wouldn't be mad if, you know, whether it's Didio or, maybe some other folk who really were behind 5G. I wouldn't mind if they just did like a Black Label series, 5G What If. You just make it a whole, make it its entire line, make it its whole line, and maybe you can swap things around. But I think you could have made something work there. Like, I would have loved to see this come into fruition, in a different life. But yeah, I agree. Would be a nice Elseworld story. Like, it's fun. It's super serious, and again, it's something new. Like, again, 5G. Say what you want about it, but you can't lie and say it would be something much different than what the DCU has been giving us. And part of me wishes we would have just did 5G and tweaked it here and there, because let's be honest, was Infinite Frontier that great outside of a couple books? Was Dark Crisis that great outside of a couple books? And if 5G tanked, they already had a reset button, so the reset button would have worked just fine for them. So, well, yeah, I think so. I think so. I would like to see it. Let's see here. Glass Teen Titans and Bendis Superman ruined everything with Damian and John Kent. I don't know. I'll be honest. I'll be honest. I don't think the Glass Teen Titans book was that bad. I popped in and out for the crossovers with Deathstroke and Titans, but I will say this too. Like, I think the last batch of issues for that Teen Titans run, I think it was pretty solid. Like, the tension was there. We started to see Damian really, come to terms, not come to terms, but in a bad way about Alfred's death. He started wilding out, and I started to see more of the older Damian. He was kind of like regressing, and in his defense, he has been through a lot, so it makes sense that he would regress a little bit. But again, I also say this: it was a nice building block for the Damian that we got now. So I also count Glass's Teen Titans as part of the build-up for Lazarus Planet as well, because again, we don't get Williamson's Robin without Glass's Teen Titans, and we don't get everything that happened with Batman versus Robin, without all that stuff in between. So yeah, was it perfect? No, but I think there were some elements to it that were pretty great. Why is Jace Fox Batman? Oh God, let me see. What was the story behind this again? Jace Fox, his real name is Tim Fox. He was around back in like the early 1900s, and there wasn't really much for him, so they kind of just shoved him off. He came back. He ran it. I think he what is it? He did a hit and run, he ran away for a little bit, and then he kind of went on like this whole um like I don't know how do I say this again. He just became a better person, over time. He trained with katana. I think he did some military stuff as well, and he was starting to readjust himself back to being in Gotham and being with his family. And at the end of his whole journey, he just happens to come across a bat suit, and then he decides, okay, I'm just gonna be Batman. I'm not doing it justice because I think it's a real shit um synopsis, but I do recommend folk read um what is it, the next Batman Second Son. Like you get a good feel for the Jace Fox story there. And again, I think it's a pretty solid book. I think John really did great with that miniseries going into the first half of I Am Batman. So check out I Am Batman Second Son. I think you'll enjoy it. Oh, Jace Fox is boring as Batman. Jace Fox is so boring as Batman. Who isn't interesting? Why not have Luke Fox as Batman? I think there was a logistical issue about that. There's some logistical issue. I just have to look it up. I think it's because somebody had created Luke Fox, and they didn't want to use them. They decided to move away from that plan. But don't quote me about that. You could go check out the 5G files. There's a specific reason for why they switched it over. I don't necessarily agree. I'm indifferent regardless, but there's a reason. People, white Twitter fans only care about Duke when he isn't on a cover. I've seen nobody talk about his urban legend story, and it pisses me off. I'm clapping. I'm clapping. I'm clapping. I'm clapping. I don't know if you guys checked it out, but please go check out the stream I did. I did a Duke Thomas stream, and we talked about that. Like the amount of folk that showed their asses when the whole situation with Tom Taylor happened, it was baffling, right? Because up and down the timeline, all you see was, oh yeah, why wasn't he on the cover? And yada yada yada. And also, I say this too: Tom Taylor didn't have the best response. Also, I think everybody in that situation was wrong. But the Duke Thomas fans, they came out and rallied behind him. There was this whole discourse of, oh, where's Duke Thomas? Where's his book? Where's his book? Mind you, DC has been working to build up Duke Thomas the entire time, but folk have just not been checking out for him. Even after what is it, Brian Hill's Batman and the Outsiders, you have Brandon Thomas doing good work with him. Nobody paid attention. And I figured after the whole Tom Taylor situation, people would show up. That urban legend issue did not move units at all. It did not move units. Did not move units. That's when I knew for sure Twitter is full of shit. Full of shit. I could see Tynan on Jace Fox Walk of Yo, you're not lying. Yo, you're not lying. I can see it too. I can see it too. When hey, say what you want about Tynan's Batman, but there were some good things in that. I think if you give Tynan a nice little mini series, I think it would work. Who knows? I think you make something happen. And to follow up with that, I'll be honest, Johns Adams and the others can't write a Jace Fox book in this climate. Why the fuck not? Why the fuck not? I refute that. I refute that 100%. Honestly, I get it. I get it. I get it. It would be nice to have, a Black creative write Black characters. I 100% stand behind that. But sometimes also, there's probably somebody better for the job, honestly. And, we also have, what's his name? Jeremy Adams writing what's that book called? The Jon Stewart book. I think they're stronger writers than the ones I've listed. And I think they'll get that book to move units, mainly off of name recognition. And also they're just great fucking writers. I can see it. Will it happen? Most likely not. But no, I can 100% see one of them taking on that book. But yeah, no. And to your defense, also, maybe they feel the same if they were thinking about it. Oh, 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 oh. Here we go, Tevya. Tevya said, like, why couldn't we have Tim Drake help take down Pariah? I don't know, maybe because he was all fucking around with the Young Justice. And then I think at this point, people were kind of just tired of just seeing Young Justice because I guess before Megan Fitzmartin did not do that team any good. So I don't know. I don't know if that would have went over well. If Teen Titans Academy was divided into two different books, it could have worked better. Kind of like how X-Men has X-Men Gold and X-Men Red. That's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea at all. Like, I don't know. Let's do a pitch. Let's do a pitch right now. What if you have the main Titans team break off with one group, and then you give them, I don't know, maybe not, because even so, it's still so many characters to juggle. And we already seen that. What's his name? Who's Tim Sheridan? He's not good at just juggling multiple characters at once. I don't know, maybe, but it has to be under a stronger writer, and you'd have to at least have one of the main Teen Titans like teams spearheading that book. But even so, it's I don't know. I see so many issues running into that. But I could be wrong. Jacob said, I don't think they could have had the Batman believably interact. Damian didn't like Dick taking the mantle. No way he'd like someone taking Bruce's money, then taking Bruce's identity. Oh yeah, that's right, because what's his name? The Fox family has Bruce's money right now. But there's reasons. I think the money part is you can kind of be lenient about, because after Joker War, legally Bruce could not have that money. But yeah, I understand. But also on the flip side too, why not? Why not? I would love to see how Damian would interact with somebody else just running around with the Batman. So that would be so dope. It'll be hostile as fuck. A lot of drama there, but fuck yeah, why not? Why not? And I can see them, just duking it out, because Damian would be pissed off. There's always been talks about him being, the successor to Batman, and all of a sudden there's another dude running around with the Batman suit. That would make for a great story, a nice little mini series, or at least a good couple panels. Tevye said, plus nobody cared about Future State because all of those futures sounded horrible. I think some of them. I think there were some good Future State books. The Suicide Squad book was fucking dope. I'll give that its respect. The next Batman wasn't terrible. Obviously we've seen how the War stuff ended up. That was great. YARA FLOR was a hit. What else? I feel like there was another one that did fairly well. But yeah, I think there were highlights, but yeah, a lot of it was submit. But yeah, it was submit. But yeah, I think some people were for the ideas. But I think if those ideas were reworked and they were given more time to be fleshed out, or just not happen, period, I think we would have been better off. You said I don't Fox existing, but we need a reason to be Batman other than Bruce Wayne sucks. Look, I stole his stuff. That was true. I agree. Let's see here. What else? Jacob said Glasses Run was good until his story was derailed. Yeah, there was some good elements to that. Like, you can't sit here and tell me those Deathstroke crossovers didn't slap. those Deathstroke crossovers fucking hit, bro. They were really good. Um, and I think Glass worked really well with Priest also. So whenever those two got together and made something happen, fuck yeah. I think those are like the highlights also. And I think overall there was some good points in that Teen Titans run in general. Like, it was good to see the heroes, like those younger heroes, have their own space to just grow. I like the stuff that happened with Wally. He left for a little bit, and I really enjoyed the metal tie-in. Um, it was a good, fun teen book, and to everybody's credit that was on that book. I think those characters grew in their own ways to the point where I don't see the need for a Teen Titans book again, because I think everybody's grown out of that. Everybody has kind of branched off into like their own separate stories, whether it's in an ongoing or mini, and they've shown like, yeah, we're not teens anymore. Like, I'm not opposed to a couple of these characters appearing as Titans characters. Why do we need new folk to replace the Titans if that team ever goes to shit again? I can see a Wallace West taking over Wally West's spot. I can see Damian Wayne taking over Nightwing's spot as being, the leader of the Titans. It was like, why not? That it's a nice step forward. So I think despite its flubs, I think a lot of those characters stepped up in that run. See here, JK said that is sort of the point. Bruce is Batman because Bruce wanted a symbol of fear. The identity is tied to Bruce. The same with Dick being Robin and Dick being Nightwing, or even the mantle of Bats. Heroes that last have a connection to their name. Yeah. And again, I feel like those handled better. Maybe Jace Fox, could have that connection too, but I don't think we'll ever see it. Jeremy Adams' Flash book is way better than Jace Fox. Oh yeah, by a fucking milestone. By a fucking milestone. Hell yeah. Again, it is what it is, man. If y'all not reading 1 Minute War, shame on you. Fucking shame on you. Go pick up 1 Minute War. There's no way you cannot hunt down those floppies right now. Read 1 Minute War. Like DC even did the favor of making Flash bi-weekly, and we don't have too many bi-weekly books, and 1 Minute War is slapping. So if you are not reading 1 Minute War, shame on you. Shame on you. Catch it digitally or go fucking find a floppy and read them shits, because you have no excuse. 1 Minute War is easily one of the best storylines coming out of DC right now. So I'm sure you guys are, but just in case if anybody isn't, yeah, do yourself that favor. What is it? I'm not sure on Teen Titans Academy. Even Titans United hasn't sold. Yeah, Titans United for a while, Titans United was selling better than Teen Titans Academy. Like, not by much, but that's still embarrassing. Like, that out of continuity story is selling slightly better than your mainline story, and I'm sure that's one of the reasons why Teen Titans Academy got canned. But we all know Titans United is just made just so there's a book that's in conjunction with the TV show that's now ending. Oh yeah, he said, Jake said, because on Twitter Damon would be called a race. Okay, listen. I'm not saying you're lying. You're not lying, but also, I honestly know. I'll take that back. If anybody calls Damian a racist for coming at Jace Fox, then they're just being dumb. They're being 100% dumb. Why? Because there's so much more there than race. Like, again, Damian Wayne has it in his mind, and a lot of fans have it in their mind that he is the successor to Batman. He just off the strength that somebody else is running around with that's going to cause strife. Weirdo Twitter people will say that's racist, but no, like, Damian Wayne has legitimate he has a legitimate beef if they were ever to interact, and I want to see that beef. So if Jace Fox continues on, whether it's in a mini series or like an anthology, bro, let's make it happen. I want to see Damian confront him. I want to see that beef. I want to see it. I'm not gonna lie. I just want Jeremy Irons on Flash and Green Lantern right now. Jeff Johns can't even write his JSA book right now, or maybe it's just Bleeding Cool wanting clicks. Now, Bleeding Cool, when they announced those delays, it's not them just wanting clicks. Like, I'll talk a little bit about the Jeff Johns thing. Jeff Johns is in a good spot right now because I think after Doomsday Clock, editorial kind of just let Jeff Johns kind of do his own thing in his own little corner that doesn't affect the DCU that much. So JSA could be delayed till hell, but you know, their editorial, like a lot of these books are not tying into what he's doing. So however long JSA takes to finish is however JSA takes long to finish, but other writers are not going to wait on him. So he's fine. And right now we're seeing the aftermath of the delays. Like I think number 2 was it JSA number 2. It sold lower than number 1 because of the fucking delays. Like Johns is not somebody that can manage his time well. Like back then, you could give Johns an excuse for Doomsday Clock because at the time he was running. He was the one that was heading things over at on the on the movie side. He was handling the movie shit, so that's understandable. But now there's no excuse. He's not doing anything major outside of the comic books besides what Stargirl's ending. I know he has this thing going on with Image. What's that? But Geiger, I think Geiger's done. So what's the problem? Oh, you just don't know how to manage time, and your allure is running out. Like people are getting fed up with Johns right now, and rightfully so. I'm happy that he at least finished Flashpoint Beyond on time. I'm happy about that. But JSA, I'm happy I didn't subscribe to it. Stargirl, I didn't subscribe to it. Anything else, I didn't subscribe to it. If it comes out, it comes out. If it ties into the DCU, it ties to the DCU. But yeah, I don't know. John just has like fucking shitty time management, and he's gonna reap the benefits of. Excuse me, he's gonna see the aftermath of that. JK said, was Yara Floor a hit? I didn't think it so. Yara Floor was a hit. It was a hit. It was. It sold pretty well. The problem was that, and again, this is secondhand information. I was watching a stream. I think it was Nerdette's Newsstand, and there was actually, my homeboy. What's his name? Damn, I forgot his name. But yeah, one of my homeboys. He typically pops up in these streams. He might pop up tonight. There were rumblings that Joelle Jones was pissed off at editorial, and that's why that book ended like prematurely. So I don't think it was a sales thing. I think, you know, she got pissed off, and then also the book kept getting delayed. So and Yara Floor just got the shit end of the stick. But yeah, I think it sold very well because she was the breakout character there. Like people loved the design. People were like really rallying behind her. Like she was the one who had the most steam behind her. But you know, Joelle Jones, you know, just like Catwoman, she can't keep a deadline. Like you can't write and draw. Well, she can't write and draw at the same time and then keep a consistent deadline. So that's why that book ended. JK, Gotham Future State went the full run, but still didn't make any sense. Gotham Future State is a weird book. It's a weird book. Like I'm gonna just go ahead and say it. I think Williamson just had a nice idea, and an editorial said, "Okay, run with this idea." And then when Williamson was done, he just like, "Okay, I'll let somebody else write the book," and the book just kind of it floundered So, and the odd thing is just like the future state timeline shouldn't exist. It shouldn't. It's something that's a potential future. So you making a book that's pretty much centered around a non-existent future and also a failed initiative, it's you already in dicey territory. And I don't even think it's sold. I don't even think it was a hot seller to begin with, even with Williamson on the book. But that was just like a quick pet project of his, and then it kind of floundered since. But yeah, I don't know. That book just should have never been a thing. Um, Yara Floor was a hit for a while, but as soon as Joelle got hit with delays, the book was axed at issue 7. Her hype died fast, and DC's just giving her crumbs off of Diana and Cassie. Yeah, exactly. Yep. Like I said before. Yeah, Joelle Jones is an amazing artist. And also she is fine as hell too. Like Joelle Jones is gorgeous. Like she got everything working for her. But yeah, she just can't keep a deadline. I think that's one of the reasons why she left Catwoman as soon as she did. But yeah, I would, in a perfect world, Yara Floor would have continued on past 18 issues. Yara Floor would have continued on because that's the book, that's the character that really stuck with people. And I think even the Trial of Amazon stuff, I think that was that out of all the Trials of the Amazon stuff, I think that's the one that sold pretty well also. So there's something there, but again, you can only test people's patience for so long. Um, Nobody cared about Lobo's daughter, Crush, or the Jin, who both tanked. Yeah, I think I think Lobo's daughter hit a. I think that character hit a little better than the Jin. The Jin was just weird. Like I don't know that Teen Titans had a pretty solid lineup before what is it? Before the No Justice stuff, and then I don't know what happened. Like they just started to throw a bunch of new characters in the mix. But I think the Jin was the one that people didn't really care about the most. Lobo's daughter, she had some staying power because it's Lobo's daughter, and they tried to make that work and like flesh that out as much as possible. But yeah, the Jin was no. Um, Southboy said, "Y'all saying Glass of Teen Titans is bad? Just wait till whatever Tom Taylor's cooking up." All right, okay, all right. Okay, I'll be honest here. I'll be honest. Overall, I'm not excited for Tom Taylor's team. I'm not excited for Tom Taylor's Titans, but I did catch the preview images for it. Um, and it looks like he's going to be tackling certain things that I've wanted him to tackle for a while now. Main case in point, he nobody really addressed the fact that there were certain characters in the OG Titans book that kind of just went away after No Justice. And I think in one of the preview images, we see, I think it's Dick and Donna, and they go talk to Tempest because they just left Tempest hanging. So I think that they're going to tackle a little bit of that. So, and I wanted to see that. I want to see how Taylor handles that. But other than that, oh man, listen, I could care less. And let's keep it a fat stack. The the Titans book right now is already handicapped by two reasons. One, the Justice League is coming back. Two, even in the promotion, they're not treating the Titans as a premier team. They're calling them the replacements for the Justice League. You cannot inspire confidence in that team. You cannot inspire hype behind that team or legitimate hype behind that team when you're telling the readers, oh, these guys are the second rate Justice League. If you want to treat the Titans as prominence, don't mention the Justice League. Say, hey, Justice League is gone. Titans are here. This is the premier team. No replacements. Let's fuck shit up. That's how you promote the Titans. The moment I seen this is the replacement for the Justice League, and nope, I'm good. I'm all right. I'm all right. the Jin deserves a comeback. Maybe put her on the JSA with her brother. Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right. They are related. Yeah, why not? But I don't see that. I just don't see it happening again. Just kind of like a character that people can kind of care less about. Just care less about. Yes, I think the best I could have for Jace is being merged with Batman Inc. At least the kind of Batman Inc. Morrison did. Then he could grow into a selling character. Oh, okay. I can. Okay. I'll raise you one higher. I'll raise you one higher. What if he was the leader or part of the Outsiders? So then again, we can have Batman and the Outsiders once again. I mean, you got Jace and you got the Signal working together, right? So those are two pretty quote unquote popular like black characters, and I think that would be dope to see. I could see Jace and Duke Fox bouncing off of each other. I can see that. I can see that. Speaking of JSA, do you think this version of Huntress Helena Wayne from Future will stick around? Jeff Johns is currently revamping her. Yo, I'm gonna be honest. I can't speak on whatever is gonna happen with the JSA and whatever Johns is doing because we don't even know if it's gonna stick, and mainly because of the delays. So right now, I'm just treating whatever he's doing as its own separate thing. Like at this point, it's worthless. It's pointless to speculate about what's happening on the Jeff Johns side of DC. It's pointless. It's 100% pointless. Everybody is better off focusing on what Wade, Williamson, Taylor, and whoever else of the big hitters is over there. Worry about what they're doing. Don't worry about what Johns is doing because we don't know. We've seen him with Doomsday Clock. Like the line eventually had to move on because he couldn't get his shit together, and this might be the same. So I can't speculate. I can't. And it would be silly for any writer at the moment to try to pull from whatever he's doing. So I can't give you an honest answer. I can't. Let's see here. Let's see here. Oh yeah, Soft Boy said, Poor Tempest. I'm low-key interested in seeing that. Yeah, I'm interested in seeing that too. And it's cool because I don't know if like there were slight nods to the off-panel breakup of that Teen Titans team. Like, I don't know if you guys remember what is it? The Flash War. Roy had popped up. This was before he had died. And he said, hey man, you know, you guys went off and started a whole other Titans team and you didn't tell us about it. Like, and that was the only time it was mentioned. The only time. So I'm happy that Taylor, you know, has been paying attention, and I want to see, I really want to see how that's handled. I think Tempest will be great on the Titans. I can see him easily joining the team. But yeah, it's good that he's gonna tackle that. I would like to see them make amends with what's her name also, Omen. They kind of dropped her off too. Now she's working with Power Girl in Action Comics, but yeah, like they got to make amends because it is fucked up. Like after No Justice, even the readers, we never got to see that breakup happen. It was the final issue of it was the final issue before No Justice. The line was paused that let No Justice happen, and all of a sudden Dick is back. Is like, hey, we need a new team. What happened to Roy? What happened to Omen? What happened to Tempest? We never got to see that. And that's something that's always been lingering to me in the back of my mind. And Software also said, yep, that was my main problem with the solicit. You're making the Titans seem like the substitute teacher assistants to the Justice League. Give them some respect. And again, that's been an issue for the longest time now, right? Even back in what is it? In the No Justice Metal era, right? Well, even before that, the arc before No Justice, it was the Justice League popping up and saying the Titans need to disband. Like it was the Justice League pretty much bitching the Titans. Yeah, that's what happened. And it seems like DC and Tom Taylor have not learned the lesson from that. Like there's always been this stink of, oh, you know, they're the second-rate Justice League, you know, they're not as good as the Justice League. But you can't give people mixed messaging. You can't say this is the premier team, but they're also you can't do that. You can't do that. Yes, the book will sell because it's Tom Taylor, but again, like people who really pay attention to this shit, it's mixed messaging and it doesn't inspire confidence at all. And we all know the moment the Justice League comes back, they're going to take all the attention, and then now we're really gonna see if the Titans and the Justice League can hold up together. So that's going to be the real test. JK said Taylor has lost me because of the Nightwing run. I love that run. He's good at fan service and moments, but nothing happens. AKA serial killer running around for Jesus Christ. You said it better. You said it best. You said it best. I don't know. I don't know what else to add to that. It's true. It's true. I think issue 100. Let's talk about issue 100, right? Because that's the most recent issue I read. And let's talk about the jarring issues with issue 100, right? So Dick does this whole spiel about you know, the legal system is this, you know, the jail system is that, and then he lets all these criminals like go. Like, what are you doing? Like, fan service aside, Taylor just has a very, very, very bad problem with. He's just trying to cater to, you know, like white liberals on Twitter, and you know, just people who want claps on the back, you know, just pats on the back for certain things. And Nightwing is the biggest example of that. The fan service, it's whatever at this point. Like, it really almost seems like Nightwing can't handle anything on his own. So it's just a bunch of things. Like I said, people will buy that book because it's Taylor, but there's no substance to it. Like the fact that nothing has happened with Heartless is an embarrassment. Like, I stopped Nightwing, I think it was like issue something. I think right around the time I stopped reading Nightwing, Heartless was still doing his thing, and nothing has changed from the last time I read Nightwing to issue 100. Heartless is still running around as if, you know, Dick did no sort of damage. So he has pacing issues with pacing. Stories are very dry. He's trying to pander to people. It's not working, bro. It's not working. He said, what is it? Oh yeah, Taylor also lost because of his terrible John Kent Superboy. That run was not good. Not good. Well, from what I heard, because I haven't read it. I've read a couple issues of it, and I did pick up the what's that shit called? I did pick up the Son of Kal-El, not Son of Kal-El, the Kal-El Returns crossover stuff. I still got to read it, but yeah. Yeah, JK said, I guess Outsiders will be fine, but I didn't think Outsiders sells. Yeah, Outsiders doesn't sell, but here's the good thing now, right? We have an anthology series where they can go in. We have that. So what is it? The new series is called what? Batman, the Brave and the Bold? Yeah, why not? Put them there. Give them like a good 2 to 3 arc, 2 to 3, or maybe even 4 issue arc in that anthology series. And yeah, cook. And depending on the writer, maybe we can get like a separate mini series outside of that. Because I don't think Outsiders, I don't think they sell well in an ongoing format. It just doesn't work. Let's see here. Is No Justice stuff that is the No Justice stuff the stuff that happened around Bendis? Yes. So No Justice was the aftermath of Metal, the first Metal. The source wall broke, and then the DCU, essentially it was like Lazarus Planet before Lazarus Planet. Like some big event happened, and then the DCU was affected by it, and then as a result of that, Dick decides he wants to make a new Titans team, and that's when it was Nightwing, it was Raven, it was Steel, it was Kyle Rayner for a little bit. Oh, and it was what was that girl's name? Martian Manhunter's niece. I forgot her name, but yeah, it was a completely new lineup. And then yeah, Snyder's Justice League also spun off from that too. Softboy said, I wonder if the Justice League will be Diana, Bruce, and Clark, or will it be the supposed Legacy League with Yara, Jason, John? It will be it'll have the staples. It'll have Bruce, Clark, Diana, but I think it'll be an entire, everybody else will be new. I think DC should get the point now that the legacy hero stuff, it's not working for them. I don't think people want to see them in a Justice League team. If you want to do like a mini series with those characters, sure, but no, I think DC would have a rude awakening if they think they're gonna do the Legacy League and people are gonna accept that. I'm working on a video actually right now talking about like how DC has killed the Justice League, and that's not a great way for the Justice League to come back. The energy around these characters is not good. This is not good. They would be dumb to do it. Tevia said, also, the whole Heartless plotline has clearly, it hasn't gone anywhere. It hasn't. Like I said before, there's no reason why I stopped reading at issue, I think it was like 70 something, if I'm not mistaken, 70 or 80 something. There's no reason why 15 issues or so later, Heartless is still running around doing his thing. There's absolutely no reason. But again, because of Taylor, to his benefit, people will show up and buy it. So what does that do? That incentivizes Taylor to continue doing his nonsense. So again, it is what it is. And maybe one day, maybe one day I'll sit back and I'll catch up on his run on DC Universe Infinite, because at least then I can just read it under the $8.99 banner, and I don't have to pay every single month for the shit. Pay every single month for his floppies. J.K. said he lets all those criminals go after starting all this, all the homeless being attacked by criminals. Plus, Dick is a terrible person is in that run. But they telling me he's a goody he's a goody two shoes. That's what they're telling me. That's what they're telling me, man. Let's see here. Soft Boy, I think it'll depend on how far down Zaslav's either trickles down the comics. He needs a focus on the core characters that earns money. Yeah, agreed. I don't know. Again, I don't mean to derail from the conversation, right? There's this notion that, Zaslav, he's gonna axe DC, and he's gonna do this and that. I don't think Zaslav is paying attention to the comic side. I really don't. I think Zaslav is just letting people do. He's just letting them cook over there. Zaslav is more worried about movies and TV and HBO Max. Like I don't think so. I think maybe what he decides on may influence the comics, but I don't know. I think, yeah, I don't put Zaslav and comics together, and I'm well aware that there's a certain subsection of YouTube, they are quote unquote waiting or hoping for the day that Zaslav kills DC Comics. Like, it's not happening. I don't think he cares. Like, I feel like on the priorities of Zaslav, comics is on the way bottom. Did the new Birds of Prey team ever go anywhere from Urban Legends? No. And they did not make any noise. And I think around that time also, Urban Legends was like just sinking in sales. I think right after Zdarsky was done with that book, and right after the Tim Drake reveal of him being bisexual, there was no main reason for people to pay attention to that book. So yeah, by the time they did the Birds of Prey stuff, people were checked out, and that's probably why people kind of forgot, if they haven't, that Duke Thomas was still doing things in Urban Legends, because the hype for that book just like died. That's why it's getting relaunched as Brave and the Bold. Tevye said, question, how do you feel about John Kent going to Injustice Universe? For me, after Son of Kal-El, my expectations are extremely low. Given his terrible Son of Kal-El series ruined everything. I don't know if you were here for the last stream I did. It's interesting. It's interesting. I'm also not going into it with any high expectations. But I said it before and I'll say it again. If you guys missed the last stream, I think it was really dumb for Taylor and DC to reveal that John Kent was going to the Injustice universe. I think that should have been kept under wraps until issue 1 dropped. Because again, comic book Injustice is just a divisive. It's a divisive universe, and John Kent is a divisive character. So it's like it's two things working against each other. But on the flip side, maybe there's something interesting that can happen there. Maybe there's, I don't know, maybe we can see something cool happen with the Injustice stuff and then Ultraman, and then that really changes the status quo for John Kent moving forward. That's what I'm low-key hoping for. But again, I'm not keeping my expectations high. So we'll see. And again, I think Taylor works better with the miniseries format because again, not Justice, Deceased. I think Deceased has always been consistently good. I've been hearing good things about his Dark Knights of Steel. But yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. But I'm gonna read it. I did subscribe to it because I want to see how John Kent ends up after this. Let's see here. Software said, "Oh, I'm looking forward to that video. I don't really care about the Justice League like that. The last one I took seriously was the 2012 one by Johns." Yeah, I do mention the Jeff Johns run in that book, in that video. It will be out soon. I finished the script. I just need to sit down and voice record, and then once I voice record, all it is just a matter of just like throwing the videos and the images together. My aim is to have that out by next month, if not by the end of this month. But yeah, that's been another passion project of mine. I'm gonna try to get at least like 2 to 3 deep dives out there. I have a Thomas Wayne video that I want to do as well, and some other stuff in the works. JK said, "I think they could blend in the legacy characters, but they have to stop having the legacy characters lecturing and being portrayed as the bestest ever. Characters need nuance and have." Yes, I 100% agree. Sorry, I'm just taking a drink. Yeah, I 100% agree. I 100% agree. Yeah, and we just want them to be regular people and just regular superheroes. This is all it is. Like, I don't need to be preached to. I don't need anything to be like an allegory for real life. We all go through real life. We look at these comic books as an escape, and we don't want to be preached to. We just want to see superheroes do superhero shit, and we want to escape. That's all it is. It's not a controversial thing to say, and yeah, that's just all we want. Like, and I think that's one of the reasons why I Am Batman didn't do well. Like, after a while, I felt like I was being fucking preached to. So yeah, and same thing with Nightwing. After a while, people, including myself, felt like they were being fucking preached to. So yeah, legacy characters can work, and again, it's just all about the writers, man. Like, we just want good superhero shit. Oh, Zaslav couldn't give the running era that's comics a thought, except to the point that they damaged the brand. There is a corporate goal stated to investors that they will focus on core. Hold on core. Hold on. Yeah. Maybe you continue later on, but yeah, no, that's true. That's true. Um, yeah, and I agree. I agree. Yes, there's the investor part to it. Um, but I don't know. I feel like, and again, I could be totally wrong. I could be 100% totally wrong. But I feel like you know a lot of the talk around comic books in general is just mainly movies and TV, and then comics is kind of just like low on the totem pole. When it comes to us who pay attention to the real comic books, yes, it's a big deal. But I feel like, for the average public person or regular person, they don't really care. And again, that's why I always think his priorities are just for regular comic books are just like so low. But yeah, who knows? And again, they always say too that comic books are the lifeline for these movies and TV shows. Like, for example, we're seeing that Tom King Supergirl book. That's gonna be what's influencing that story in the movies. So yeah, but yeah, so yeah, I agree. But yeah, said yeah, they shouldn't have revealed it until we saw the panel of John going in there. I can't stand when Tom Taylor and Josh Schiller used to spoil their own books. Oh, fucking, you're preaching to the choir. Preaching to the fucking choir. That deserves a clap. Yeah, it's Williamson has a bad habit, and also Scott Snyder. Also, they just have horrible habits of. It's not even promotion that those spoil things in. They'll go on podcasts and spoil. Like, if you go ahead and like see any of the you watch any of the comic story and stuff with Scott Snyder, especially around like the death metal and metal stuff, this man was spilling all the fucking beans. Spilling all the beans. Spilling all the beans. Like, can I read the book, motherfucker? Please? Please? Williamson also. I think Williamson does a little better job, but still, like, for fuck's sake, dude. What happened to just opening a comic book and being surprised by it? Like, Shattered Grid. Shattered Grid was kept under wraps. There were people who read Shattered Grid in person and they kept their fucking mouth shut. There was no promotion talking about what happened, nothing. I don't even think Heroes in Crisis was spoiled. And I think that's one of the reasons why it made such an impact, because people went into that book expecting one thing and then they had no prior knowledge. And boom, what happens at the end of the page? Oh, all these motherfuckers are dead. And what happened? People were shocked. It was the conversation for a good couple of weeks. Were people upset? Yes. But the point I'm trying to make is that we got to experience that for the first time while reading the book. We don't need to be fucking spoiled with everything. Tepe said, even though the John Kent I knew wasn't a divisive character when he was introduced as his little 10-year-old self, but ever since Bendis aged him up, DC won't do the right thing. Yeah, man, they won't do it, Tev. They won't do it, man. They won't do it. They won't do it. Thomas Wayne, I can't stand his character now, but take your time with the videos, no rush. Yeah. I want to put these videos out. Again, it's just those videos take time. Like the typical ones I drop on my channel, those take me at least like an hour or two, because I could just sit, turn on the same platform that I'm streaming on right now, record, throw some images on there and some video, and then I could put it out. But yeah, I do want to be better about putting out the long form videos. So yeah, but that Thomas Wayne one it's cool. I don't think anybody's done it yet, so I want to be the first one. Let's see here. I think they reveal early because readers aren't the market for publishers. Stores are, so they have to build that buzz before the book issues in order for the LCS to order. Yeah, I've heard that rationale as well. Yeah, I've heard that too. Um, I get it, but fuck, man, like fuck. But also too, I'll say this also, like, you know, I speak as somebody who pays attention to all the online stuff. Like, I'm sure if I was a regular degular person is not paying attention to the online stuff. So they'll see, uh, they'll probably just walk into the store and they'll see John Kent Superman, and all of a sudden they open up the last page and they may be surprised, or whatever have you. They may be surprised, and but again, two different avenues of folk. We pay attention to it, so we think it's spoiling. Well, I do, but there's other folk who just don't give a shit, or they're just not paying attention, and they may have that experience. What else? Um, but yeah, oh yeah, he said, JK said, "Oh, I like Thomas Wayne in the Flashpoint universe. My fourth favorite Batman." Yeah, I've warmed up to Thomas Wayne as of late. Um, I enjoy what King did with him, and I enjoy what Williamson and Johns did with him after that. Like, I think King left Thomas Wayne in a very compromised state. But I think Williamson saw the potential there. Same with Johns, and I think they, at the end of it all, they really turned the character around. So that's basically what my video is gonna focus on. Is like, kind of like how DC, really turned things around for Thomas Wayne. And they could have left him alone. And also too, the experiment could have failed. It could have been a bad experiment. Like, they could have just plucked him out and then boom, why'd you do it? But no, they took him out and they really did go to work with him. Like, I enjoyed Thomas Wayne in Justice League Incarnate. That was a fun book. And I enjoyed him in Infinite Frontier as well. That was also a fun series. And I enjoyed Flashpoint Beyond. That was a nice way to tie everything together. And I think there was some good sentiment there as well. But yeah, I'm excited for that. I'm really excited for that. Um, what else? What else? What else? Let me see if I missed anything. Oh yeah, Software said I stopped praising that Nightwing books. I stopped taking that Nightwing book seriously when Tom Taylor was praising Devin Grayson. Yeah, man. Yo, his dad was out here being a hoe. He was being a hoe. He was being a harlot. And Dick Grayson was out here praising him. That's crazy. That's crazy. And I think that rubbed people the wrong way also. This is like, yeah, your dad, your dad did a pretty shitty thing. And here you are just praising him. But again, it kind of falls into the same complaint of, yeah, man, they got to make Dick seem like the good boy. Got to make Dick be the good boy. So yeah, holy shit, it's almost running on like two fucking hours. That's crazy. Let me see if I had missed anything else. Hold on, I got one more thing down here. Oh, hold on. Hey, I like the Devin Grayson one. I wish I had flowed. Hey, I like the Devin Grayson one. I just wish she had followed through on the story and not backed out. Yeah, I don't know. Who knows, man? A lot of the stuff with Taylor's Nightwing, I don't know, maybe it might just hit better in trade. Or also maybe somebody, you know how they do the filler list for anime? Somebody needs to do a filler list for Taylor's Nightwing run when it's done, and maybe it might hit harder. Maybe it might hit better. Because again, a lot of it is just fucking filler. Like, I feel like maybe if Taylor had gotten Nightwing, but for like a certain amount of issues, maybe it would be better. But I don't know, man. That dude cannot write an ongoing to save his fucking life. He can't. And I know it sounds like I'm always shitting on him. I think he does minis well. I think he does Elseworld stories well. But the ongoings, no. Despite how excited I am about certain elements of his Titan story, you know what? I'm also worried too. How is he going to handle the pacing there? Are you going to introduce a big bad and then 20 to 30 issues later, the big bad is still here as if nothing happened in between the first time when you introduced him? Let's see. Let's see how that works out. So I'm going in there with a lot of skeptical. I'm going in there with a lot of skepticism. Oh, Nightwing and JK said, oh, Taylor's Nightwing is never gonna hit hard. It's too floppy. Who knows? Like I said, a lot of people like myself, I don't like long anime. I don't like it. But when you give me the filler list and you tell me exactly what are the issues I need to read and you cut through the filler, it makes for a better experience. And I think this nigga Taylor needs a fucking filler list, man. But again, he is incentivized. He's incentivized. When they see the sales consistently doing well, all of that tells Taylor and DC is like, keep doing what you're doing, man. You're doing great. And again, there's probably people who outside of the internet, they probably love this run. They probably love this run. And I know, and we may have our biases against Taylor, but hey, man, if some people aren't paying attention to the Twitter stuff and the online stuff, and they just want a good Nightwing story, this is hidden for them. I'm not even gonna say might. It is. So it's working. It's working. So yeah, man, I think we stuck on Taylor on Nightwing for a little bit. Maybe writers need to stop writing for trade. Yeah, it's a double whammy. It's a double whammy. Like we're seeing it now. Detective Comics, right? I like it. Ram V's on it right now, right? I can only read it in one. I can only read the issues as when they're stacked up, and I have to just read them sitting down. I can't read them month to month. Like not to say it's bad, but it's a trade book. It's writing for trade. I feel like Detective. It kind of should always kind of have like that. Oh, something is always happening. Like type feel like the main Batman book. Like there's no breathing room, but I feel like there's so much breathing room with Detective, and I think a lot of average Batman fans, they're not used to that and they don't like it. So maybe that's why that book is not. It's still selling well, but it's not selling as well as it was before. Let's see here. I would love Adams on Nightwing. I would love Adams on Nightwing. I think I feel like with Adams on Nightwing, you can capture like that. You can still make Dick Grayson look like a good boy, but I think he'll do it in a way that's a little bit more interesting. And yeah, maybe I can see Adams doing good work on Nightwing. I can see it. I think what I personally want from a Nightwing book, personally, I need that grittiness back, man. The grittiness ain't there. The grittiness ain't there. And no disrespect to Bruno Redondo and whoever is coloring, but that grit is not there. And I always say this: y'all can hate the Rick Grayson run as much as you can, but you cannot say that book did not have the grit to it, the gritty street level feel to it. And even before the Rick Grayson stuff, it's just it's missing that grit. Like Taylor's run, it's too la 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 la. No, it's too uppity for me, bro. I need that grit. Batman, despite whoever is on that book, there's always that grit there, and I think Nightwing needs that. But also on the flip side too, maybe DC felt that, hey, there's always been a lot of grit with Nightwing. Let's lighten things up a little bit. So I see that argument also. But yeah, let's see. Jake said, I tend to think that writing for trade is kind of an excuse for poor writing. Long form stories still have to progress. Yes. That's true. But I think no, I think I'll disagree. I'll disagree. I think there are certain writers. You can tell. You can tell that you can tell that it's written for Trey. Like it does better in one like sitting. Like for example, I like the Power Rangers books. They're great books, but as much as I like reading them month to month, I enjoy sitting down and reading them because there's just some writers that's how they tell their stories, and um regardless, and so for some people, they prefer to just wait for that writer and that style to just sit down in one sitting. I don't think it's a knock against them. It's just styles. Like again, like a Chip Zdarsky, for example, or Tynan as well. Like every single issue, this regardless of how you felt about their writing, it felt like okay, yeah, this is things are moving, things are moving, things are moving, things are moving, things are moving. But another seasoned writer like maybe a Tamaki or a V or even Brian Hill, like their stories are a little bit more slower. And again, it may not be appealing to the month to month when you're so used to Batman doing like Batman again being so high paced. I don't think it's a knock, and I think Ran V is a great writer. Like I said, when I sit down and read Detective after a couple issues, I think it's great. But for the regular average person, I can understand why it's a little jarring for them. Um, JK said, "Yes, I agree. It's like art. A page needs black ink on the page to bring weight to the story. It needs dark anchor. Yeah, it does. And yeah, it's missing that. It's missing that 100%. So and again, that's why there's certain books I fucking enjoy. Like for example, it's one of the reasons why I love Savage Avengers, especially yeah, you both runs. Like when I read when I hear Savage Avengers, like it doesn't just mean only story. The colors and the art has to reflect Savage as well. So there has to be that darkness there, that grit there. And again, I feel like with Nightwing, it's missing all of that. So again, it's like I feel like the street level characters need to have that grit to them. They got to have the grit. So yeah, that's what's missing for me a lot of times in that Nightwing run. Um, I prefer the Rick run over Taylor's run. Thank you, thank you. I agree. I agree. And listen, I guarantee you, if people sat down and they really reread the Rick Grayson run, it's not bad. It's really not bad. Like I took my time with that story, and it was a little rocky at first, but when he got focused, that shit got focused, and I think it really picked up once. I think it was Jurgens and then Joker War, like that. That was good, and I really wish Jurgens had a longer run on that book, especially when Nightwing came back. I really wish we had more time, because I think that run before Taylor's, well, the couple issues before Taylor were fucking excellent. Rick Grace, well, excuse me, Dick is back. He gets to get revenge on what's his face, KG Beast. Heat, 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 heat. Let's see here. More sun shines brightest when you read the entire run in one sitting, but also each issue has its punches. Well, yeah, I feel like it all depends on the person or on whoever's reading. I have to bounce y'all, but have a good evening. It's actually morning. It's 6 p.m. here, and I got to do some assignments before spring break. Hey, softball, I appreciate you for coming through. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate the support. Yeah, and good luck on your assignment, Tommy. Good luck. But yeah, what was I gonna say? Yeah, man. So those are just my feels. But yeah, we're almost going into what, like 2 hours. Yeah, I'm about to call it a night. Because I am getting a little hungry too. But y'all, I appreciate you guys for sticking through. Appreciate you guys for coming to hang out. The past couple streams have been awesome. You guys have been super active in the chat, and I appreciate that. And I'll be back with some regular content next month. Not next month. Within the next week. Yeah, my light month is over. Yeah, I just needed that break to just rewind, just relax, because I was pumping out content ridiculously from, I think it was from like July or August all the way to fucking January, and I needed some time to recoup. But I'm more rested. I'm excited to come back into the game, and yeah, be sure to look out for some content. All right. So thank you guys. Much love, much peace. Thank you everybody here once again. It's your boy Roliver Queen, and I am out. And also, if you guys, if you're a first time watcher to the channel, let me go ahead and like reshare of my screen as well. And please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. The road to 600 subs is beginning very soon. Actually, no, the road to 600 subs is here, man. So go ahead. You know, if you enjoy the content, please subscribe. We're at 523. And thank you guys for everybody who's been subscribing, even though I've been doing just live streams. I appreciate you guys. So yeah, let's try to hit 600 before my birthday. All right, my birthday is coming up in June, so it'll be dope to have a birthday celebration and 600 sub stream. All right, so this is the channel right here once again. So yeah, go ahead, hit that subscribe button. Got some more content coming for y'all. All right, but yeah, I'm out of here, y'all. Much love, much peace. It's your boy Roliver Queen. Once again, love you very much. Peace.